Jess
and Shell.
Welcome to Real Talk Tuesdays with Jess and Shell, where we talk voiceover.
And some other things.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Michelle. Ready for another episode?
Yes, very excited about this episode. We have somebody on that's kind of amazing. I'm gonna actually read this because I don't want to mess it up. Okay, we have on Gary Yordon of the Zachary Group, and he is a client I have worked with. He's a writer, producer. He's an amazing human being. He's just super talented, and we're just so excited to bend his ear today. A 10-time Emmy Award winner, Gary designs media for corporate and nonprofit clients, government agencies, as well as public sector amendments and referendums. He has directed the design and marketing for more than 200 local, state, and federal campaigns. He's been awarded the Silver Medal by the American Advertising Federation for Lifetime Achievement in Advertising. He's been like a host of a TV show. So many things on here. He's done so many things. He's such a cool guy. Let's see. Oh, known for his ability to build consensus, Gary was the only county commissioner in Florida ever to be nominated for the John F. Kennedy Profiles in Courage Award for his efforts to protect Florida's water resources. Love that. God, he's a national award-winning columnist. Like, this guy's done it all. Oh, and he's actually coming in. So,
oh, good. The Renaissance man.
I'm going to let him in. Right, exactly. The Renaissance man. Okay. We're letting him in. Gary. There he is. Yay.
Oh, you're by the pool. What
Yeah,
the
he is.
heck?
That's
Yeah,
Gary.
I couldn't think of a reason not to be.
Well,
I would be too if I had one.
We were just reading your bio about, all like the amazing Renaissance man that you are, and then you were coming in. So we're like, oh, let's just let him in. Let's let him in and we'll talk about
And I feel like a Renaissance man needs to be by a pool for this.
Right?
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much for jumping on with us, Gary. We appreciate it. Yeah. She was reading your website and all the, the whole Emmy thing, but Jessica has a specific personal question for you.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the watermelon seed spitting.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I am serious about that. How did you get into that?
It's a great sense of pride for me. I hold it above all other achievements. It was 1974, and it's a little small county where they have a watermelon festival every year, Jefferson County in Florida. And the sheriff of Jefferson County had won it 7 years in a row. And I was just there covering it. My TV show was just covering, and I got talked into going on stage. And it's a platform that's 12 feet wide and 40 feet long. And when you spit, the seed must stay on the platform. It can't like bounce and go off. And, 27 feet, 6 inches on my very first lucky spit.
Wow.
And and the sheriff was like at 24 feet and dethroned. And it was one of those seriously incredible life moments. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. Does that translate into any of your things that you do as you grew up?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, a guy who grew up using his mouth, I was a natural.
There you go.
Yeah. I was a little upset that it didn't go 30 feet,
Right.
No, I've left it on my resume for reasons I really can't explain. It's always right down there at the bottom. And every time I think about taking it off, where I'm introduced to do something or one thing or another, it just stays. And I can't quite make it leave. So
It's a part of who you are. It's such a great story too, right? It brings a lot of humanity too.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we know you've done so many things, and also what Jessica doesn't know is his wife is also like, Gary does a lot of stuff for like charity types of things, and his wife is like, she's just Bernice. She's amazing.
She's the head of the United Way, and
she's amazing.
She does a really pretty cool.
Yeah. They both do such cool things. But anyway, so we know that you're a writer, you're a producer.
Yep.
Like he does it. You kind of do it all. I mean, you have people that help, but
yeah, it's not a control issue really. It's just you get something in your head and you got to get it into a screen, and the best way to do that is for it to be maintain your vision of it. along the way. It's the creative process for me is not a really natural process. I kind of have to fight through it. If I sat down with my folks and said, okay, let's have a creative meeting now on this, whatever this project was, I got nothing. There's I don't know if you remember, it was a chick flick called Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Diane Lane has
Diane
a
Lane.
brutal divorce, ends up over in Italy, happenstance. She's there for like 6 months and can't find a man. And the wiser older woman who had younger men all over the place told her, when I was a little girl, I would run in a field trying to catch ladybugs and I could never get any. I get so tired, I'd lay down and fall asleep. And when I woke up, they were crawling all over me. That's kind of how I create. It's just got to come to me, and it might be on a walk, it might be sitting on the porch, it might be riding my bike. But if I chase it, I never quite catch it. But if, it's not unusual for me to sit up at 3 a.m. and just, Bernice goes, what's going on? I go, I got to go right. She goes, I know. All right, go.
Oh,
It's
wow.
yeah, because it'll come in a dream. It's just the weirdest thing, but that's the way it's always been.
That's so interesting. That was my question, is like, what is your process? And that's so interesting. And we were talking to someone earlier today about like being quiet with things sometimes, because sometimes when you try to force things, it doesn't work. But when you're quiet with it, sometimes it comes to you. That's kind of just what you just said, right?
Yeah, a walk on the beach for me is one of the big ones. When I finished my first book, I could not finish it, and I just went to the beach for 7 days and knocked it out. I mean, it's I have a really cluttered mind, and
We get that.
and so in order to unclutter it, I need some other distraction, and sometimes that distraction is quiet.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really truly believe in media today is that quiet is incredibly loud if done right. And
Yes.
when the rest of the universe is super noisy, which it is, quiet can be incredibly loud. And so, yeah, that's how it works for me.
We were literally saying this morning when we were talking about silence is power, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Now,
funny.
Bernice would tell you
That you don't know silence.
yeah, no, that I never stop talking. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
She's right. And she's been incredibly patient for 30 plus years, but I'm just saying, I know creatively, if I can get that space, it happens. And it's all over the map for me. I start with music a lot, and everything from Napoleon Dynamite polka to 1920 crooners to people snapping their fingers or yodeling around a campfire. Every obscure song I can find, I put in this file. And sometimes if I'm creatively stuck, sometimes I'll go to that file and let music sort of drive the process.
That's so
Were
cool.
you musical growing up? Like, were you in a band?
No.
Did you like to sing?
No. As a matter of fact, I'm not allowed to touch a power tool or a musical instrument. I mean
Either one.
It's like a felony here. No, I literally have none of those skills. I can cook. My dad cooked. My son's a chef. So I'm pretty good in the kitchen, but that's about it. No musical instruments. No, but I love music, and I hear things that take left turns. I hear those creatively. Just a really funky, weird interpretation of a song, or clapping in the background. I just one of the pieces, Michelle, that you voiced was that bullfighter.
Oh yeah.
One of the Emmys. And it's got 3 layers of music. It's got a didgeridoo all by itself. I just wanted a didgeridoo. I had always wanted.
Who doesn't want a didgeridoo?
It does make, I know, it does make things cool.
No, I mean, I had always wanted to use one, and I never found the right place for it. And so a bunkhouse seemed to be it. And then ethereal a men's choir in the background, just doing sort of a Gregorian chant, and then a music bed. And so we layered all 3 of those together to create this really sort of left turn that made it incredibly watchable. One of the things that I really try and do is make what I design to have legs, to be watchable for a long time. I never have anything with a punchline, or that, like, once you get it, like, okay, I get it. So, I'd rather shoot a father teaching a kid sitting on the bottom stair of a long staircase how to tie a shoe for the first time. I mean, that you can watch endlessly, because you can do it. You can focus on the kid. You can focus on your dad. It brings back memories. It does, a lot of different things. And so I try and create everything to have legs so that you don't get tired of it. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know there was 3-layered things in that spot. Like, I have to go.
Well, actually, there's 4 because
oh my
of you.
God. Well,
you're the 4th. Well, I
I'm
mean,
the 4th layer.
as
That's
you always
awesome.
have been.
That's
No, but I
awesome.
mean,
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, voice, obviously for me, critically important. Knowing you and all the projects we've done together has just been, remarkable.
Yeah.
And it happened in such a weirdly bold way. I remember calling you. It was through a service. I think it was voices.com.
Yeah.
And it was through a service. And I picked you, and then I said, I got to find her. And I remember writing you going, I know this is weird and kind of creepy, but I gotta know who you are. And because every once in a while you'll get a voice that it just is the best reflection of what you've created. And I guess that's why we've done about 20 things together.
Well, that was one of my questions. I said, like, I wrote down here, what are you listening for when you're auditioning and you're hearing the voices? I think that a lot of people would want to know, like, what you do, like, what is that thing you're listening to, and what is it that makes you go, nope, or, like, so pet peeve, I guess, and also, like, what you're listening for.
That's a great question. I'm listening for something a little bit bent. I'm listening for a little bit of gravel. I'm listening for someone who's not trying to be a voice, but being a voice because of that. I'm listening for someone who is letting the script come to them instead of them going to the script.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's a really subtle thing, but it's amazing how few voices are able to do that, to let the script just kind of wash over them instead of going out and trying to be whatever it is they think it ought to be.
Gary, that's so refreshing to hear that, because we just did a thing on imperfection, and I always tell people, like, first of all, read something as if it's occurring to you, because it should be very, like you said, very natural, like it's occurring to you and infusing on you, but also, like, to, like, embrace your little weirdnesses, your little imperfections, not try to make it sound like this perfect, like, put on this voiceover voice, right? Because you can hear that as a person, right? You hear that right away.
It's like a pie in the face. I mean, it's like literally, there it is. And I can, I've done this so much, I'll hear it in the first 5, 6, 7 seconds, and nope, next one. I love unforced inflection. I love inflection that's born from emotion instead of learned announcing. I think that's a real big deal when someone feels a script. That's why let it come to you. So when they feel a script, they say what I had hoped would be said in a way I would hope it would have been said. And then, for me, I like to use a man where a woman should be and a woman where a man should be. I think that's really important.
That left turn thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a car commercial or a tire spot, I'm using a woman. And only because the world somehow thinks men are the only ones who can talk about it. And I'm designing that spot. I designed a spot for Cooper Tires. Actually, this is really kind of funny. So it was for Cooper Tires was trying to attract more women nationally. And I got approached to do a spot for him, and I did it was going to be a badass woman drummer who laid the bed and intercut with women doing like really badass women thing. I just wanted badass women. I wanted just all that. And the drummer had to do it. And I auditioned drummers from everywhere. And the line at the end was going to be Cooper tires, because the only thing we don't want to change is a tire. And we're driving to dinner in a town about 30 miles from here. And I was telling Bernice about it. And Bernice said, "You're not giving that to Cooper Tires. I want it." And for the United Way, for Women United. And well, that was it. I mean, there was no
debate after.
All dibs.
It wasn't like no.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right. And so the line at the end was, well, so here's the best part of the story. So I'm auditioning. I have these women drummers from all over the country sending me drum solos. I told them I wanted them to come in, sit down, be badass on some riff, get up, throw the sticks, and walk off. I got them from everywhere. It's great. So this one woman calls me in November and says, I don't know if you're going to use me or not, but I'm pregnant. I just got pregnant. And if you're going to use me, we got to get it done. And I said, this is how, what I was talking about a minute ago, letting the universe come to you. I said, no, now we're not doing it till May. I mean, what's more badass than a badass woman drummer who's pregnant? So, but I don't reveal it in the spot. So the whole spot happens and everything, and we shoot it so you don't see that she's pregnant. And at the end of it, she stands up and she's pregnant, and she walks off into the darkness. And the line is, "We're not here because we have nothing to do. We're here because we have everything to do."
What would you say is a secret to your success in general, like as a base?
I don't know. I guess deciding never to decide. Yeah, I mean it. It's like, I talk to students or recent graduates all the time who are frustrated about not being able to decide what they want to do. And I try and help them understand that's a decision. To decide not to decide. And, I've got my TV show, I've got my podcast, I've got my newspaper column, I've got my business. So I'm doing the commercials. That would have never happened if I had to decide to decide. And so I think maybe if there's a secret, I don't know how else to define it. It's just that I'm doing everything I can think of and creating a platform for each of them. And I think that's just kept me really relevant. The first Emmy was 2009 and the last one was 22. It's hard to continue to sort of recreate yourself along the way in terms of your creative process and remaining relevant, in that space. So maybe some of it is just really just kind of loving it. And I don't know, I think if you really love something, you tend to kind of be good at it. I'm just generally a pretty happy person. I learned that from my dad. His headstone actually said glass half full. That's actually what we put on his headstone.
I love that.
There's some great stories there. My Jewish parents have probably been, who were like Jewish parents 101. have probably been the subject of, I don't know, 20, 25 columns over the years. Bunch of chapters in my book.
I was going to ask about that. Do you write a lot from your own experiences and you
Oh,
connect those emotional experiences and write? That's like just a thread.
yeah. In fact, I'm always the foil. One of the, you can do and say a lot of really edgy things if you're the one who is always the stupid one. You can insult, you can explore, you can rant, you can do everything. If at the end of the day, when you're writing whatever that last paragraph is, you're the one who didn't get it, or you're the one who it happened to, or and I think that's probably a theme throughout. I've done columns. I wrote one on how to write your own obituary, and I said put a bunch of things in there that no one can disprove, like I invented cashew butter and made out with gold in my ear, and I floated down the Amazon on a sofa cushion. I mean, like
invented cashew
I live
butter.
life.
no, I'm just saying, if you do those things, you'll have this awesome obituary, and no one can ever Google that you didn't float down.
Did Grandpa do that? I don't know. I think he did.
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna link to all your stuff, to everything, all your podcast, your book, like all those things. We'll put that in the show notes, and yeah, and we just really appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you, you know that.
yeah, I love you. You know that.
Yeah.
I watch this a lot. I like what you guys are doing.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I'm like, we don't think anyone's watching.
Oh my God,
We don't care. We don't care if no
We
one
don't
watches.
care. We've told ourselves we don't care.
Well, two considerations there. One, quality of audience is much better than quantity of audience.
True.
That's like a big thing for me. I'd rather have the right people watching than people watching.
Mm-hmm.
It's I found it incredibly entertaining. I mean, I think you guys are doing great. I think I've caught like 3 of them.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I know that means a lot.
And Michelle's such a good storyteller. You have so many random.
I have so many random. Did you see the picture I texted you about coming on the link today?
Yeah.
I surprised Jessica this morning wearing that. Like, so I came on the thing, and what I told her last night is that shoot, I know we have a video call today and we're going to be on camera, but Murphy's Law, I made the mistake of getting my hair cut last night, and I don't think it's flattering, and I'm just just trying to make it look as good as I can for the shoot.
I was like, oh no, like, are
And
you?
she got on
And then you wore the hair, and I thought, but did you get a haircut?
like, she thought I had a haircut under the hair thing, but I was like, I just showed up with the giant bow because I'm a weirdo. So
I don't know if you've seen her tiny hands.
oh my God, that tiny hand.
Yes, I have seen the tiny hands. I've seen a lot of disturbing things on Michelle's videos.
Say on one of my posts that you were like, no, this is why we worry about you. What was that post?
Yeah,
the dog? Was that about Kevin, the dog?
Right. Yes.
Kevin, oh.
Had a post we put on a YouTube short of Kevin on the couch, and it's the only thing, like, nobody cares about us, they care about Kevin. So I got 10,000 views in like a half an hour. She's like, we gotta ride with Kevin, we gotta put Kevin on a skateboard.
We need to quit the show. This is gonna be about Kevin.
I just wrote the column you just commented on about courthouse therapy dogs.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Write a dog column, and I got people from everywhere. I mean, it was like everywhere.
See?
People were sharing it.
All right, we're gonna go with Kevin then. We're moving forward. We're gonna focus on Kevin.
Okay, thank
you. Thanks for watching.
Okay, take care. See you.